So good morning, America. This is Sam and Kath with you in Port Angeles, Washington, which is in the northern part of the Olympic Peninsula. This is going to be our official announcement that our 2021 PCT Adventure is over. It's been about a week since we got off the trail, and we wanted to just do a little short update on what happened and why we're going to go ahead and call it quits for this year. So about a week ago, we just left Tuolumne. We've been hiking for what, about a couple of days, Kath?
Yeah.
And we got to mile marker 973 on the PCT, which is around the Paiute Creek crossing and pretty close to Benson Lake. And we had to do a water crossing there, and we decided to do one without any shoes on. And Kath ended up stubbing her toes on one of her feet on a log there, and we thought that she'd broken them, right, honey? As it turned out, she didn't break them, make a long story short, but she couldn't hike. It was essentially one of those deals where carrying a 25-pound pack on your back, 25 or 30-pound pack on your back, and trying to climb up and down some of the rocky terrain and those passes that we were having to deal with, it was just not going to be able to happen. So we got on the inReach, we called up emergency services. They couldn't take care of us that day, but they promised that they would get a helicopter out to us the following morning, like that. And who showed up the following morning to pick us up?
The California Highway Patrol emergency.
The boys in blue.
Yeah.
And they did a magnificent job. They flew a helicopter in there. I was thinking after the last couple communications I had with emergency services that I was going to have to hike out, because that was the word from the Forest Service if they sent a helicopter. And as it turned out, they got the CHP to send their helicopter in there, and those guys were nice enough to take me along when they took Kath out. So they picked us up there at Benson Lake, didn't they, Kath? That's
Yes.
where we spent the night. We spent the night at Benson Lake. And then what did they do? Where'd they take us?
Well, they were going to take us somewhere. The Park Service wanted them to take us somewhere near Tuolumne, and they asked us where our car was parked, and we told them it was in Mammoth. And so they said, well, wouldn't you like to go to Mammoth? And we said, well, of course. So they took us to the Mammoth airport. When we landed, there was a highway patrol car there to drive us to
Yes.
our truck. And none of this cost us a penny. They did not ask for any kind of
Reimbursement.
money at
Right.
all. It was amazing, and they were all so nice.
They were. And the guy in the patrol car, their patrolman that picked us up at the airport, showed us where the hospital was in Mammoth. Because at that point, we still didn't know whether Kath had actually broken any toes or not. I mean, it was a pretty serious stub if it wasn't a break, and it definitely looked like, I mean, her toes were all blue.
Yeah.
It looked like she'd broken something. So,
Yeah. And it's still sore. It's a
Yeah.
week later, and I still have difficulty walking. So.
but the real blessing in all of this was, we're talking about toes and stubbing toes, but Kath had had a previous injury to her shin where she had scraped it on some rocks of some kind, right, Kath? About 3 weeks before, and it had started to get infected. And that was probably the more serious of the two things that the doctor looked at in the
Yeah.
emergency room, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so, why don't you tell them what the doctor had to say about your...
Well,
The
it was
whirlwinds.
definitely infected, and so I was put on antibiotics, and they cleaned it up, and they took x-rays to make sure that there was nothing in the wound.
Wow.
It kind of felt like there was some gravel or something in there, but there was nothing in there. They cleaned it up really good, and it's been 9 days now. I've been on antibiotics. And it's drying up, which is good, but he said it could take as long as a month to actually close up. So
And
we'll see.
It was a good thing, really,
Yeah.
that what happened, because I think if Kath had continued on, we don't know, we never know about us old people when we get wounds like that, when they get infected. We didn't want that infection getting into the bone. That was a
Yeah.
big thing. So We got off the trail, like she said, there about 7, 8, 9 days ago. And what we did to decompress and kind of get ourselves reoriented to living back in the civilized world where you have indoor toilets and level floors to stand on and traffic and all the rest of it. We just made a slow drive up along the coast of Northern California and Oregon, and now we're up into Washington. So we just did the coastal drive, and we spent different nights at either a KOA or a hotel along the way, and it's been pretty nice, hasn't it, Kat?
It has been.
Yeah, we're this is our last day here on our little coastal trip. We're going to be heading back to Denton tomorrow morning. We're staying at the KOA here in Port Angeles. Nice little KOA.
It's a really nice one, yeah.
Got a nice little tent spot. Got a new tent. So anyway, just to let you know what's going on. Everybody's fine. Really no serious physical injuries at all. We just made a decision that it's a little more complicated. We'll explain it a little bit in more detail when we do further videos, but it was more than just Kath bumping her toe and having the injury to her leg. There were some physical constraints that we were up against. To continue hiking would just not have been a good thing. So that's the reason that we decided to call it a day on 2021 PCT. Had a great time though, didn't we, Kath?
We did. I'm sad it's over.
Yeah, we're both kind of sad it's over. But hey, that's life, and you go on. We're going to be doing something different next year, so we're excited about that. So we'll talk to you all later.